Hello, I'm Josie Bame, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this illustration from Corduroy by Don Freeman. So, starting off with the access lenses, the first one is facial expression, and there are three faces in this illustration. There's Corduroy, the little girl, and the mother of the little girl. Corduroy himself looks very distraught along with the little girl. They seem to be making eye contact. Early in the book, they already have some sort of connection here as their departure from each other is both causing some obvious distress. We can see that through the slanting of Corduroy's eyes and the concerned look in the eyes of the little girl. The mother doesn't look concerned. The mother looks confident as she walks out of the store, not really thinking too much about what is going on with her daughter and Bear. Next, if we take a look at the body language within the illustration, we can see that Corduroy looks a little bit slouched. He looks a little bit disappointed in his body language through his shoulders. And we can even see through the little girl, she seems kind of to be clutching her mom's hand, like looking for comfort. And instead of facing forward as she walks away, she is facing Corduroy, turning around as if she does not want to leave him. So again, creating some sort of connection between the little girl and Corduroy that the mom is a little bit unaware that is occurring. And both Corduroy and the little girl feel distraught about leaving one another. When it comes to the colors in the illustration, most of the characters in the illustration are wearing very vibrant colors. This is a happy story in the end, so I do feel like there's quite a few vibrant colors. But as the mother and the little girl are walking away, there is this absence of color where Corduroy is kind of filled with this red, kind of deeper color. And usually we associate red with like maybe anger, but I don't feel like he's angry at all. I feel like he's just disappointed, but maybe it can be interpreted as like the color walking out of his life, as in the excitement, the dreams that he had about being taken to a new place or having a new friend is slowly disappearing and walking out of the frame. Speaking of walking out of frame, the next access lens is distance, and Corduroy is still, he's on his shelf, but the little girl and her mother, it's obvious that there is some sort of movement of them walking out of the store, walking away from Corduroy, and the distance is increasing. Again, Corduroy is watching what he maybe thought was going to be his new friend and his new home walk away. This distance also leads us to our next access lens of the fact that Corduroy is alone. In previous illustrations, Corduroy is surrounded by other toys. He's at a store, but in this moment, there are no other toys next to him. There's nothing else on the shelf next to him, really emphasizing the fact that he has no friends, no home. He feels kind of alone, and he's left on that shelf by himself as, again, what he thought was maybe going to be his new home and new friend walks out of the store. The next access lens is sounds, words, or silence, and this illustration takes place in a store, so arguably it would be quite loud in the store. In the department store, there would be people walking around, maybe music playing, but this illustration feels very silent, I think due to the lack of colors and due to the expressions on the characters' faces. It's kind of like a pause for dramatic effect, silence for dramatic effect moment. A lot of the other illustrations in the book have more color, and so I think that absence of color really makes the image feel silent, despite the fact that it would probably actually be kind of loud in the store. But again, all Corduroy is focused on is nobody else in the store, not the music in the store, not the other toys. It's really just watching the little girl walk away. When it comes to the things that are big or little, there really is nothing that is massively different in size. Of course, the mother is going to be adult size. She's an adult. And Corduroy, if you look at Corduroy and the little girl, they're about the same size. I think the illustrator might have wanted to put them on the same level as one another, even though the lower half of the little girl is missing. In the frame, they are the same size, kind of equating them together as potential friends and equals, people who are both excited to meet one another, but then again, distraught to leave one another. The image is slightly more zoomed in on the little girl and her mother leaving the store, and slightly less zoomed out on Corduroy, again implying that perception of Corduroy being left behind. Corduroy definitely feels left behind. The book is from his perspective, so the little girl and the mother are leaving him versus the little girl feeling like she's the center. It really, Corduroy is kind of the center of the story, and so they are leaving his world instead of vice versa. There's also very few metaphors, maybe some symbolism. I would say, again, the symbolism lies mostly in the color, but one of the main symbols of the picture book of Corduroy is corduroy overalls. He is missing a button on one side, and that is one of the reasons, not the only reason, one of the reasons why the little girl does not get to take Corduroy home. I think this is symbolic of a simple imperfection, maybe something we're unaware of, or something we didn't know that we do wrong that makes us sometimes not get chosen, or again, makes us not perfect. Oftentimes it's not these massive failures on our part, it can be those smaller mistakes or those smaller issues, and Corduroy seeks to reconcile that issue throughout the rest of the picture book. But I would say that is a symbol in the text, and a symbol in the illustration specifically, that Corduroy is missing a button and therefore he's not perfect, which makes him feel the weight of being left behind extra because he is now realizing he is maybe not perfect.